Good health is not something you are able to buy at the drugstore, and you can't depend on getting it back with a quick visit to a doctor when you're sick either. Keeping yourself healthy is your own responsibility. Mistreating your system by keeping bad habits, neglecting symptoms of illness, and ignoring common health rules can diminish the effect of the best medical care. Nowadays, health specialists promote the idea of wellness for everybody. Wellness means achieving the best possible health within the limits of your body. One person may need fewer calories than another. Some people might prefer a lot of easier exercise to more exhausting exercise. While one person enjoys playing 72 holes of golf in a week, another would rather play 3 sweaty competitive games of tennis. Understanding the needs of your body is the key. Everyone runs the risk of accidents, and no one can be sure of avoiding chronic diseases. Nevertheless, poor diet, stress, and bad work environment, and carelessness or abuse can ruin good health. By changing your habits or the conditions surrounding you, you can lower the risk or reduce the damage of disease.
People enjoy taking trips. But what are the reasons they leave home? One reason is for education. People travel because they want to broaden their horizons, to learn about other people and other places. They are curious about other cultures. When people are tourists, they get a quick look at different ways of living. Even a short look at another kind of lifestyle is an important lesson. On a trip, a person can learn directly by visiting museums and historic spots. What does a tourist learn who sees the art museums, visits the historic palaces, and other scenic spots in Paris, and shops along the River Seine? He gets a vivid picture, a real-life one, of the French people. He learns about their attitudes, how they feel about business, beauty, and history. What about the tourist who goes to Hong Kong? Does he get the same information that he could get from a book? He might read that Hong Kong is crowded, that there is less than 200 square meters of space for each person, but seeing and feeling the lack of space will impress him much more. He might read that there are nearly 200 vehicles for every kilometer of roadway, but the sight of so many vehicles parked along the roadside will be a much more vivid lesson. The tourist to Hong Kong will never forget the contrasts, the straight vertical lines of the tall modern buildings and the moving lines of boats that people live in.
In the past 50 years, the American society has changed a great deal. 50 years ago, most Americans lived in small communities. They rarely moved from one area to another and knew their neighbors at least by name, if not by close, personal interaction. Life was so personal in those days that people often joked about it. They said that a person could not even stay home from church on a Sundays without the whole town knowing about it. It was difficult to have privacy in a small community like that, but there was usually a sense of security, of belonging, and of community togetherness in such places. Except for church and the local movie theater, there was not much in the way of entertainment. Some people dreamed about moving to the exciting life of the big cities, but most people were happy to live all their lives in the same community. Few people experience this type of lifelong social interaction or sense of community togetherness now. People often move from neighborhood to neighborhood, city to city, and coast to coast. It is rare to find people who have lived all their lives in one community. Because people move so frequently, they do not have a chance to get to know their neighbors. Perhaps this is also why Americans tend to have a more casual attitude about friendship than people from some other cultures. Americans are accustomed to leaving old friends and making new ones.